Good morning. This is KELOLAND On the Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your Sunday. We also have your border busters, but first, our top story. We now know South Dakota's next Attorney General. Lance Russell will be the state's top law enforcement official. Russell earned the GOP nomination last night at the South Dakota Republican Party State Convention. He will be the only one for the position on the November general election ballot because the Democrats did not nominate anyone for the office and no one else is running. Russell is currently the state's attorney for Fall River and Oglala Lakota counties.
We have a lot of laws to change. We have a lot of work to do. It's not going to happen overnight. Hopefully we will have legislators that seriously understand how important it is to have a criminal justice system that provides for the safety of the people of South Dakota. I'm going to need all of your help in order to get that accomplished.
Russell will replace current AG Marty Jackley, who won the Republican nomination for U.S. House during the June 2nd primary election. Attorney General wasn't the only office up for grabs Saturday. State Representative Heather Baxter earned the Republican nomination for Secretary of State over incumbent Monet Johnson. Baxter will face Democratic nominee Terrence Davis and Libertarian Tamara Lesner in the November election. The GOP delegates also chose Brock Greenfield for School and Public Lands Commissioner, who is set to face Democrat Rayanne Mettler. Catherine Branco won the nomination for State Auditor. Her challenger will be Democrat Tom Kuhl. And for State Treasurer, Melissa Hull got the nod from the GOP. She'll face Democratic nominee Margaret Kuipers. Finally, Don Hagar is the Republican nominee for Public Utilities Commission and will go up against Democrat Frank Klosek in December. You can learn more about each candidate in this KELOLAND.com original by Capitol News Bureau reporter Bob Mercer. It's on our website right now. All right, let's take a first look at our forecast. Meteorologist Brian Karstens and tracking some rain overnight, Brian.
Yes, a lot of rain, a lot of good numbers coming into the storm center. Let's take a look at how everything is shaped up on radar. You can see the thunderstorms basically moving from west to east, covering a big chunk of our area. This is exactly what many of us were looking for as far as some at least temporary drought relief. And boy, it came down in buckets here. Gregory, 2.78, Letcher, South Dakota, 2.3, Brookings. We've got some big numbers up there between 2, I had a couple numbers even closer to 3 inches of rain. Parker, 2.19, Sioux Falls, well, 1.36 inches at the airport, but the landfill on West 41st Street had 1.57 inches, and Winter about 1.5 inches of rain. There's a couple more, another one out of Brookings at 2.40, Madison 2, well, almost 1 2/3 inches there, so that's a big number. Flandreau, 1.65 inches. You can keep looking down the list there. Beersford, 7,200s. Now, down to Vermilion, didn't get as much rain. I know Yankton ended up with a little more there, but yeah, Menno's on that list too, 1.20 inches. But basically that southeast tip of South Dakota was the least amount. And if you miss some of these, you can go online, KELOLAND.com. We've got a lot more coverage there. Rock Rapids, Iowa too, a big number. Some winds. 75-mile-an-hour wind gust in Aberdeen last night, and that came in about midnight. Corsica had some wind, and Canastota about 60-mile-an-hour wind. Sioux Falls ended up with about 63-mile-an-hour wind gust. So, again, a lot of information there. What's ahead? Well, we could be looking at some more storms tonight and early tomorrow. Jordan, we'll talk about that with our forecast coming up.
Thanks, Brian. The business in downtown Brookings is back in its original location after a devastating fire took out multiple area businesses in 2024. The reopening of Seven Songbirds Boutique represents a long-awaited return for a business that has been around since 1991.
It's a huge relief. My heart feels full. All the people stopping by to say hello and congratulations. The shoppers have become part of my family over the years, and it's just fabulous to be back.
The store is back in full operation and fully stocked with clothing, jewelry, and more. This weekend, Del Rapids is celebrating its community with its annual Quarry Days Festival. The celebration is organized by the Del Rapids Chamber of Commerce, but it takes more than just the chamber board to bring the event together. Volunteers are crucial in helping the event run smoothly.
I was kind of roped into it because I said, hey, would you need help? Because there's just not a lot of chamber board members, and, it gives me something to do. So I said, sure, what do you need me to do? And I was, assigned 2 jobs, and here I am.
The park was filled with vendors, food trucks, bounce houses, face painting, and fishing as families gathered to enjoy the annual community celebration. You can head to Gooder State Park for some live music today. The park's summer concert series continues. Artist Kobe Jordan will take the stage. It starts at 4 p.m. and it's free to attend with a state park entrance license. And also head to Divergent Inc. in Sioux Falls to support shelter pets. From noon to 6 p.m., check out Tattoos for Rescues. Part of the proceeds from tattoos will go toward the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society. You must be 18 years or older with a valid photo ID to get a tattoo. Local vendors and food trucks will also be available. If you're in the mood for some baseball, head to the Birdcage in Sioux Falls. The Canaries take on Kane County. First pitch is at 4:05 p.m. And head to the Sunday Vendors Market in Sioux Falls, where you can take in food trucks, fresh coffee, crafters, and much more. It goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the corner of 12th and Ellis. Also try your hand at crocheting at AMC Collective in downtown Sioux Falls. The organization is holding its beginner crochet class from 4 to 6 p.m. You can bring your own supplies, but yarn and crochet hooks will also be provided. Spots in the class are limited. And Sunday is also the last day of Donny Days in Stickney. The festivities start at 9 a.m. with Cowboy Church. Throughout the day, events also include a car show, pool Olympics, a bead bag tournament, and a lot more. The night ends with the fireworks show at dusk. All right, with that, let's send it back over to Brian with weather. Maybe an enjoyable day for outdoor activities today, Brian?
Yeah, if you can tolerate some heat and some humidity. That's one thing that has certainly made an appearance in the southeast. There go those thunderstorms from the overnight. Now we'll kind of sit here and wait for the next chance of some thunderstorms to come back to western South Dakota. We'll be watching the mercury here in Rapid City warming up into the upper 80s, and then yeah, those storms could be blowing up, but look at the time on that. That's 1 in the morning, and there's more to it because 6 in the morning, that looks pretty busy there, possibly. Again, that's the edge of some of the more unstable air and where that's meeting up here north of Pierre. Sioux Falls overnight low will be in the 70s. It's going to be warm and humid, but I don't think Sioux Falls gets involved with this for tonight. Now, Monday afternoon, it's going to be hot. It's going to be a south wind. We're going to blow in some 90-degree weather in the southeast. It's not nearly as warm in the west, is it? Yeah, that's a big deal, too. We've got a very powerful jet stream overhead. The question is, will that concoction actually lead to more thunderstorms? And right now, it's kind of slow to pop that Monday night. That could, again, be something way late if we get something out of northeast Nebraska. See this? This is your jet stream flow. Comes out of the southwest, doesn't it? And, you know, it's meandering over us, and this is the key. This high pressure here sitting over Kentucky, if that feature stays there most of the week, which now it has slowed down even more from what it was showing yesterday, that keeps that rain chance alive because these systems, they'll kind of come up from this direction from the southwest. We still got that heat and humidity planted here, so we're starting to see more nocturnal thunderstorms, and that's why your 7-day forecast looks kind of wet at times because, well, that is. There are at least chances of these things. Not every one of them, but I imagine we're going to get a few of them here this week. There's a chance there. There's a Tuesday night possibility. Look at that. There's a Wednesday night. Could there be a Thursday night? Yep, there's another one. And they keep going. So, again, cautiously optimistic. This could be a big week for some of us to catching up rain. It already is. We've already picked up more rain in the last 24 hours than we've had the whole month of June in Sioux Falls. Not even close. So that's how we start the week. 90s today, southeast, south central. Let's go to your 7-day forecast. So I'm going to keep those rain chances kind of pushed around here. You see them there, daytime highs. I've lowered the numbers a little bit. This is the other change. If that high stalls and we start to see a little more rain, well, we're going to cut the high a little more too, by the way. So that's also a big development in the weather. I've noticed a few more subtle changes toward that, and that also would directly impact Aberdeen. Right now, we still have highs above 90, but there's a possibility we may be able to trim that to maybe mid-80s. So that's better corn growing weather. At least cuts the edge of the heat off. Pierre, I would also say here too, let's keep an eye on that western trough and how that develops and may end up cutting or reducing some of these highs later in the week. I still think it's going to warm, but again, chances of rain will also play a role. Check out a lot more of the weather forecast. We've got you covered online at KELOLAND.com.